Thanks for tuning in. I'm Raul Chamorro. May I just start by saying this is not a business motivational video or management video trying to explain ideas from book one, page one from some MBA course, all wrapped up in some fluffy story. I'm assuming you manage or own a business and you are really on top of your game, but just can't get the business to perform where you think it should. Then this video is for you, and after, I am sure you will see your firm in a totally different light. I'm going to share with you the best way I know how to make your firm a top performer. If you have a different approach that works, terrific, but this is my way and it works. I've developed and applied it for 30 years and my track record speaks for itself. I've been Group CEO of one of the largest industrial groups in Europe and held senior management positions. I've lectured at London Business School and Madrid Business School. And for the past 15 years, I advise high net worth individuals on how to get the most from their companies. And these can range from high tech to financial services. Believe me, high net worth individuals are tough investors and really want results. And there is no room for woolly thinking. I have also advised many blue chip companies like BT, Volvo, Grey Advertising, and many others. I developed my approach when I was lecturing at London Business School and working with some of the best minds in the world. We were looking at why some organizations performed and others didn't. The penny dropped with me. I could clearly see how organizations worked and behaved. And when you drill down how the management greats did it, they implicitly used this simple methodology in their approach. So you're in good hands. I can distill my way of thinking into one statement. It's not the plan alone that makes companies top performers, it's how it's done. And this is why many organizations become unstuck. And of course, the bigger the firm, the much more complex, but the greater are the returns. Before I dive into my methodology, let me just say that the biggest pitfall to creating a high-performance organization is that you assume that with rationality you get the action you expect. Or put another way, knowing what to do does not mean success. And this is where my clients were failing. Once they understood it's the psychological processes of people in organizations that make the difference, then it becomes another ball game and we can start to build a top performer. My method has three simple pillars. Number one, having the right focus. Number two, making sure the capabilities are there. Number three, getting the commitment. Each one is a subject in its own right, but each one is vitally important. They are simple, I know, but they have tremendous insight into what to do. When you apply it to very large companies, you will see the power of it, as it helps you see the wood from the trees. In large complex companies, I have seen teams of consultants spend 6, 7, 8 months mapping organizational processes to understand what's happening and where things went wrong. Whereas with my approach, it takes much less time, weeks if not days. Providing the organization the right focus is the key point for success. But where do you start? I usually start at the customer proposition. And I do this in great depth, and everything that emanates from there. After all, it is the fundamental underpinning of the company. You can see today that many companies are trying to tinker with what they offer their customers. Usually these efforts fall way short of what these organizations could really do. In the case study video, I explain when I was Group CEO how I scrapped a cost reduction strategy and focused on a brand new customer proposition through innovation. It changed the narrative inside the company almost overnight. People started behaving differently and morale started to creep back. And more importantly, the levels of anxiety noticeably fell. The importance of having the right focus is so obvious, yet so many organizations get it wrong. And as a result, they can never improve. So once you have the right focus, the next step is to make sure the company can actually do it. Otherwise it becomes yet another source of anxiety. Many lessons can be learnt from the military, where their commanders are also trained to do the job of the next level of command. It's an area I spend much of my time. After all, as senior managers, you don't do the work yourself, you delegate. So if you don't have the people that can deliver what you want, you're not going to get very far. The third pillar of my approach is getting the commitment to make it happen. This is perhaps the most important and complex element I tackle to facilitate change. Why can this be so difficult, you might well ask? Well, to all change, there are defensive mechanisms in all of us. They are unconscious processes with the primary purpose of reducing anxiety. All organizations suffer from anxiety. Through anxiety in its people, it creates all sorts of dysfunctional behavior. What makes it tough to spot is it's unconscious. You don't know you're doing it and that it's there. Just look at the complex structure of huge corporations. They have procedures unconsciously designed to reduce anxiety. No wonder large firms are such poor innovators. Very few companies are aware these processes actually exist inside them. No matter how clever your strategy or level of capability, without dealing with these social processes, you're dead in the water. That's why I have a team of psychiatrists that help me with this task, because increasing commitment by just a small amount can have a massive effect in a very short time frame. When you get your consultants to present your strategy and you decide to undertake what they propose, do you ever consider the social processes in your firm? Probably not. Well, there is one reason right there for not performing at your best. When I go into an organization, I first of all start with looking at focus, because if the organization is focused on the wrong thing, it's never going to improve in performance. I then look at capability. Are the people skills there throughout the key areas? If they're not, can the people be trained, or do you have to bring in new skills? Then I look at commitment. Is it really there? I also look at the organization in detail and look for the psychodynamic effects. What I can tell you is that I will find major improvements and I will get performance right up there. That's what I do for organizations. Thanks for tuning in.